everyone, today we are at the Metaweek and I'm happy to introduce Anton Golub, who is the founder and CEO of LoveTech, which is the Swiss tech company that provides market-making solutions to tokens and exchanges and offers investment products to institutional and professional investors. How are you doing?
So I'm doing great. Thank you very much for inviting me, Anna Maria, and it's a pleasure to be here and looking forward to a great discussion with you.
Amazing. So I have a question for you. What was your first objective when you started your business, and what are the objectives now?
Yeah, so actually the inspiration for me to start my company was actually a problem that I encountered when I ran one of the Europeans' first crypto exchanges. There's something magical that happens the first day when you launch an exchange. You learn that without liquidity, this crypto ecosystem doesn't function very well. And when you dive deep into that, you learn that market-making solutions solve the problem of the lack of liquidity. So this was actually the first motivation for me to explore this, and that culminated in the launch of LoveTech, which, as you mentioned, is a market maker, and we provide liquidity to digital asset exchanges or token issuers. Now, I have to say that when we launched the company, it was still in the early days, 5 years ago. But today, there is a big awareness among all participants of the ecosystem that liquidity is extremely important. So the objective now is actually to scale the business going forward. So we are an established market maker, one of the world's largest, but we have a bit of a long way to make it a huge success story.
Amazing, amazing answer, I love it. As a business owner, what advices can you give to entrepreneurs that are in the crypto industry?
Yes, so for young, new entrepreneurs, I would tell them it's an amazing experience to launch a company and be part of its growth. On the other, so this is the positive, on the other side it's going to be very difficult and very challenging, and also a bit maybe unusual now because we're actually objectively in a bear market. But I would say that the rewarding experience from growing a company will overcome this a bit more difficult aspects of running a business. So I would definitely recommend to everyone, stay passionate about your work, be passionate about the industry, meet great people like you, and then I'm sure success will come one day.
Amazing answer, thank you so much. Let's talk about right now the challenges, as you mentioned.
Yes.
So what are the biggest challenges right now in crypto industry, in your opinion? And maybe you have some solutions to that.
Yes, so I think that a very topical aspect of an industry at the moment is very strong reaction from the regulators due to all the challenges and maybe even bankruptcies that we recently had among well-known crypto companies. And this regulatory pressure is now on us as an industry because we basically need to clean up how things were done before. So I would say this is a very topical question that's in the moment now. It will continue going forward, but over time it will ease up because things clean up and it's going to be a lot more taken care of going forward. Now I think in terms of, now if you look inward now, I think a big topic that for me is very important is we need to become more diverse in our industry. I would say that we are really male-dominated in our industry, and for some reason there's not a lot of women actually participating in our industry. And I find this actually very lacking for the companies and all of us in the industry, because women are actually many times more successful than men running a company. So if I kind of refer back to the previous question, what I would advise also to young entrepreneurs is actually to make diverse teams, actually. That's going to make our industry a big success one day.
Can you tell us how your business is unique in comparison with other businesses?
Yeah, so there's something very interesting about market making in solution and market makers. There's not a big competition out there. So if you actually take a closer look, you realize there's pretty much 10 to 15 well-established, solid market makers, unlike exchanges where you have 500 exchanges. So very few market makers for a lot of exchanges and a lot of tokens, yeah. So I think what we bring to the table is something very intangible but extremely important to our clients, which is trust. Because we're actually still talking about tokens, about money, about financial products, financial instruments or even non-financial instruments, but something where you need to actually trust people a lot. So, and this is basically established by being a company that's in a very regulated jurisdiction, where you offer a clear pricing models to your customers, where you treat them very well, when you support them very well, and likewise when you tell them also when you cannot support them, also being the bearer of not so good news, because that's your job actually, to take care of your clients in amazing times, but also maybe in a bit of challenging times, yeah.
The last question I have, what are your expectations out of the Metaweek?
My expectations are extremely high because I know the organizer for many, many years. So Juvan Lee is a very, very good friend of mine that I met many years ago. So what I can say is I highly admire what the organizers do at this event, because they bring very smart people together in a fairly intimate environment. So this is not a mass market conference, but bringing very smart people together and then enabling them both to establish relationships, but also to establish business, because in the end we all have to make money to be profitable and to be successful. So my expectation is, just to be very blunt, is to establish business relationship, revisit relationship that I already have with a lot of good colleagues and friends, but also to establish maybe a few interesting new friendships going forward and kind of take it forward from there.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.